Due to the obscene and ridiculous nature of this podcast, listener discretion is strongly advised.
You're never going to believe this. I didn't believe it either until I tried it, and it really works. I did it in front of a cop, and they didn't do anything. You'll understand how big of a deal that is in a minute. This is incredible. I feel like I've waited my entire life for something like this, and the geniuses at Vital Elements have made my dream come true. Vital Elements has created a product called the Sacred Gift, which, when purchased, allows the buyer to legally kill one living thing of their choice without any repercussions. I'm interested to see if the host of the Secret Society of Fly Tires, Marigold, actually includes this advertisement in an episode. I think he'll want to keep this incredible product a secret because there are a lot of people who want him dead, myself included. But if you're hearing this right now, I guess the check from Vital Elements was just too tempting and he let it fly. Anyway, the Sacred Gift is an unbelievably great item. It's perfect. You can use it on any living thing. You can use it to end the life of the world's oldest living tree, a huge wet blue whale, or that guy at work who's super annoying. Whatever you choose, the choice is permanent. I use mine to destroy a random guy in the street. I just wanted to test it. Like I said, I did it in front of a cop. He watched the whole thing, but he knew that I was using the Sacred Gift, so he just shrugged his shoulders and peed and pooped his dumb little pants. The Sacred Gift is not cheap. I would never be able to afford one myself. The only reason I had it is because Vital Elements sent me one to try for free, and I'm so thankful that they did. If I were a millionaire, I wouldn't be for long because I'd be buying as many Sacred Gifts as I could. I plan to spend the rest of my life saving up in the hope that I can one day afford another one. Using the Sacred Gift was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've heard of tantric lovemaking and stuff like that, and I can only assume that that feels like extremely smelly garbage compared to using the Sacred Gift. It was if I had diarrhea that was made out of pure healing ointment, and it was gushing forth from my dumper and my pee-pee at an incredible speed. I don't know. That description doesn't really do it justice. It was just amazing. You have to try it for yourself to find out. Supplies are extremely limited, so order your Sacred Gift today. Just go to www.thesacredgift.god/kill/Secret Society of Fly Tires to get 1% off your order of 10 or more. I have to go now. I ate a bunch of peppers for dinner and I have diarrhea.
Secret Society of Fly Tires. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Secret Society of Fly Tigers? What in the fuck is that?
I'm sick of this phony baloney.
The Secret Society of Fly Tires, the Secret Society of Fly Tires podcast, the best podcast about fly tying.
Hello everyone, here we are again together. It's episode 40 and I couldn't be happier. What makes me so happy about this episode, you might ask? It's that my pals Jim and Charlie are here to relax and talk about fly tying in their own internet show. It's called Thursday Night Flies and it's live on Instagram, I'll have you know. They have guests of all types, all shapes and sizes, and they talk about fly tying like the name of their show surmises. You haven't tuned in yet? Shame on you, bitch. It airs on Thursday nights. What else do you have to do? Scratch your relentless jock itch? It's my favorite online show, and not just because of the hosts. I love every weekly challenge they post. It gets my mind thinking about creative new flies and sends me to the fly shop to get new supplies. The theme every week might have you twist up something new, based on a movie or a song or some food. The dudes and their guests tie up their submissions and inspire their viewers to not just watch and listen. The goal is 100% viewer participation, but that's a tall order with no compensation. Why would you need payment to join a crafting team? It's not a job, man, just a digital place to be heard and be seen. My friends Jim and Charlie are two real different men, but their powers combined score a 10 out of 10. Two very smart guys with different views, getting together online to entertain all of yous. Charlie drinks milk during every live stream and says things that sound brash without being too mean. Jim is usually hard at work on the vise, tying up orders for those that don't tie. His comments on air are typically sweet, a perfect yin to the yang of Charlie's brand of speak. Their wives make up the supporting cast, along with the guests of future and past. The girls might poke fun at either of the hosts, and often have theme night ideas to boast. Who keeps the show on track if they don't log in? We don't want to find out. Things could get grim. Can you believe that I thought I could rhyme for a full monologue? That was the plan, but I'm not a god. I'm just a man, not a rapper, believe it or not. One with a very dumb podcast that allegedly likes to smoke pot. I was able to draft at least a full page, so give me some credit. Don't be full of rage. Just try to enjoy the art that I make, for you, for me, and for everyone's sake. And tune in to Thursday Night Flies. You won't end up mad. You'll have fun, and you'll laugh, and might even learn a tad.
Top 8 answers on the board. Who is the greatest rapper of all time?
Little corn pudding.
Let's go.
Okay, enough rhyming. You probably think that I'm just joking around. Dr. Seussen over here. But writing an episode that rhymes was actually part of the vocal therapy prescribed by my doctor after I blew out my vocal cords recording season 3 of this show. You can't even begin to know the pain and suffering that I endure to bring you all such a groundbreaking product. That isn't true, but I'm not going to apologize to you for fibbing. Blame the worm, or my brother? I can't remember, but I hope whichever one of them gave me this idea is happy. I don't typically say no to any of their ideas. They are good 100% of the time. How many people do you know that you can say that about? Just me? Oh, thank you. And at least one more, since you know the worm. Not as well as I do. I know his actual name. And you never will. Kind of like my friend who has the championship farting abilities. I know how good he is at farting. And you do too, because I've told you about it a few times now. But I've witnessed the farts in person. So I'm just a little bit better than you at those two things that I just mentioned.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to teach you how to fart. This is the proper farting technique. A lot of people think that you're supposed to fart with your butt, but that's not how you do it. If you do that, you're wrong.
That might have been the first time that I've mentioned the gender of my friend with the farting abilities. That is me playing hardball to force him to share a fart recording with you listeners. I'll just start slowly leaking out his personal info, similar to how he leaks out hot fart gas from his anus, until he becomes scared enough of his identity becoming public that he gives me what I want. A fart doxing, if you will.
What is doxing? Doxing is when your information gets dropped on the internet. Usually it's because you pissed somebody off.
They doxed me, they put my pictures on there, they put my little stuff, they know my name and everything.
Anyways, rhyming is hard. Now I have more respect for rappers. I bet some rappers out there will hear the show and say the same stuff about me. Thanks in advance for all the kind words sent to me by well-known rappers like Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar and other famous artists in this game we call hip-hop.
What can average rappers do to rap better?
You got to put a lot of work in. If you want to be a better rapper, study good rappers. You're probably going to start off imitating them at first.
You know what's cool about this episode? It's another one that isn't dedicated to a fly pattern or a body of water or anything specific like that. So I just get to write about whatever I want. Where will I take things this time? Maybe about wealthy New York financier Jeffrey Epstein and the obvious fact that he was complicit in some kind of... never mind. Or how the U.S. space station is actually at the bottom of a giant swimming pool in Houston? No, I don't want to start that fight with Charlie. He doesn't agree with me on that one, I'm pretty sure. Although we did play a round of rapid-fire conspiracy questions during the interview where he surprised me with some of his answers. Maybe I can go on a long rant about Hollywood and the cult of Baal and the systemic child abuse that's been happening there for decades. No, that is too heavy. And I don't need the CIA to start listening to this show, alright? Imagine how disappointed someone at the CIA would be if they were tasked to monitor this absolute nonsense and report back to their superiors. I can see the write-up now, and it would probably say something along the lines of, an imbecile that just wrote 3 pages about farting, talked a little bit about fishing, and interviewed someone about making fake bugs. They would be so bummed. But what better things does the CIA have to do? Cover up some more of the elite's atrocities? Overthrow foreign governments? Manipulate weather to cause seemingly natural disasters? Yes, all of those things, you goose. And hopefully not listening to my show because I don't need any drama for any reason. I'm a simple man that goes partially insane if I don't write 8-page ADHD word barf essays and speak them into a cheap microphone to eventually release on the internet for a couple hundred other weirdos for free. Thankfully, I have a mediocre paying government job with the State Department of Excess Skin that keeps the lights on and the internet on here in Sacramento. If you've been following along this season, you already know that I've been on a quest of sorts, trying to find a job where I can feel at home and settle in to ride things out until my eventual retirement. The Excess Skin department sounded great, but even if I am starting to fatten up, I fear that I'll always be a skeleton man to some degree, and all of my new colleagues have so much skin. My incurable imposter syndrome will not let me assimilate. And to be honest, I can tell that my new peers will never accept me unless I work to become very obese and then lose all the weight. It feels like an impossible feat, really, so I'm back on the hunt. Thankfully, I already have an interview set up with the Office of the Mayor's Penis. I may be speaking too soon, but this one feels like a sure thing.
And oh, the business angle, it's a slam dunk, folks.
I have a working penis, as much as I wish that I didn't. I also once facilitated the fan club for jam rock legends Dead & Company, which includes guitarist John Mayer. I've worked in an office for pretty much my entire adult life, too. So I'm checking the 3 biggest boxes before they even extend me an official offer. Will this be the one? Probably not, because there's like 8 more episodes left, and I'm going to continue beating this dead horse of a joke until the season's over.
There he is, beating that dead horse!
Speaking of this new season, we're at episode 40, which is a nice little milestone, I suppose, but it still feels like a small number for the amount of work that I do to make this dumb show. The number 40 also reminds me of 40-ounce bottles of malt liquor, obviously, and of course the hit Sublime album, 40 Ounces to Freedom. All jokes aside, Sublime is another artist that at one point in my life I worked for. I helped run their official website for a few years, and after careful investigation, I learned that the band had a bit of an inside songwriting theme that not even their most devoted fans noticed after following their storied career. We're all familiar with the famous dog mascot, but did you know that the majority of their songs included lyrics about having sex with dogs? They sneak right by you, even if you've heard these songs a million times and think you know all the lyrics. I'll highlight a few examples, and then you can listen for yourself and follow the clues. One that everyone misses usually is I don't practice Santeria, but I always fuck my dog. Here's another one. Got to find the reason things went wrong. Got to find the reason why my money's all gone. I fuck my Dalmatian, and I can still get high. I can play the guitar like a... And one more just to prove my point. Ain't got no quarrels with God. Ain't got no time to grow old. Lord knows I'm weak. I'm gonna fuck my dog on top of this reef. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't think any of that is true. But it's a fun joke that my friends and I would riff on way too much while taking walks around town during our lunch breaks because we're children in adult bodies that have destroyed our brains.
I'm sorry for the interruption, but the legal counsel for the Secret Society of Fly Tires has demanded that we lovingly insert a thick, uncut disclaimer into the broadcast now, which states the following. The drug-promoting band Sublime never wrote any songs about having sex with their Dalmatian or any other Dalmatian. However, this is not to say that they won't in the future. I guess the band started back up again recently with the dead singer's kid singing in his place, and if they're any good, they will write not one song about passionate bestiality, but many, many songs and albums that dive deep into this misunderstood subject. But for now, Sublime has never publicly released any music about having sex with dogs.
Wait, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing for anything anymore, even if it's totally made up bestiality-related slander. I wonder how many fishing podcast hosts have used those terms before. How many times do I have to prove to you all that I'm a pioneer? Hopefully that's the last time. Alright, I've been thinking about pioneering a new fly tying material, and actually, you wouldn't even need to sell it in fly shops. When I was a kid falling in love with baseball, I remember hearing a story about a team's relief pitching squad and how they would make up games to pass the time while they waited for the bullpen phone to ring. I can't remember which team it was anymore, and I can't find any article about it online. I feel like it was the Mets. But anyways, they had come up with some kind of torturous game where the penalty was having to rip either theirs or each other's nose hairs out. So if I ever have a really long one, which is often now that I'm very old, I rip that sucker right out, and I tear up from pain, and I think about MLB relief pitchers. I've been wasting them all these years though, and now that I'm a fly tire, I see the value that I've been flushing down the drain. Think of all the ways you could use them. They're stiff and kind of coarse, vary in color, mine usually gray, and seem to be pretty strong. For my initial tests, they also float, which is a bonus for certain patterns. Please join me in saving your nose hairs, just the real long ones, and put them to practical use. Be a trailblazer like your good pal Little Corn Puddin'.
It's me!
Pubes are always the hair joke people go to in this zone, and there's even products out there like Sasquatch pubes. But no one is utilizing the abundant resource of hair growing quickly out of every aging man's nose. I'm old, but you guys are all way older than me based on my podcast analytics, so yours must be super long. Inches long, maybe.
People say that my hair are very long, very thick, they have a good volume. They wish they had hair like this.
Is this a contest? Is this what I finally used to hound the marketing team at Loon about letting me give away some of their products?
Yeah!
I don't think I'll present that to them, but we'll see how far this goes. I would invite my female listeners to participate too, but I don't think women have nose hair. It's clean as a whistle up there. I'm not trying to be sexist and leave them out of this new idea. It's just how God made them. Hairless in the nostril. They should feel lucky that they don't have any. I'm kidding. Everyone is welcome to participate in this tying material gathering project. Speaking of Mets, but this time the band, not the baseball team, holy moly, their last album, Up on Gravity Hill, is a masterpiece. Please listen if you haven't already. So I once again gave myself a pat on the back for being a pioneer, this time in tying material sourcing. And while I'm on the subject of pioneers, I should probably mention a fly tire that's been kind of blowing my mind lately. And it ties in nicely, pun intended, as I believe he's a guest on an upcoming episode of Thursday Night Flies. A dude that goes by the Instagram handle VK Steelworks. Now, I can't say for certain that he's the first tire to use super wild hooks, but he's the first one that I've been turned on to, so to me, he's the first, okay? His name is Val, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it. He's located in Branford, Connecticut, where he creates one-of-a-kind sculptures, furniture, flatwork, and fly fishing related artwork. His work has been featured in the Fly Fish Journal, The Drake, and Gray's Sporting Journal, as well as through various online media outlets. Does this count as one? I'll link to his website and Instagram in the show notes in case you haven't come across his stuff yet. His style and creativity fits the vibe of Thursday Night Flies perfectly, if you ask me. Just doing things his own way and flexing his artistic muscles. The hooks he uses are so unique that I feel like he might even be making those himself. I suppose I should just invite him onto my little program and find out straight from the horse's mouth.
There's a new horse in the neighborhood called Midnight.
Yeah?
He belongs to Clint Eastwood, that TV star who rides bareback.
That way, I'm not just assuming things. Some of his patterns look like they might take hours or days to complete, so they may not exactly be geared towards practical use, but there's some serious art within these crazy patterns. It looks like he uses some fairly exotic materials too. Please do yourself a favor and check it out, and maybe next season he'll be a guest. That would be cool. Using new materials is also a big part of Thursday Night Flies. Last season, I found out about a material called Snow Runner that I was unaware of. And I'm guessing that most of us have read The Feather Thief by now, which is all about exotic and potentially illegal materials used in fly tying. Polar bear fur and heron feathers might be the two most well-known materials that us tyers in the US know can't be sold legally. I'll tell you right now that human nose hairs are still currently legal, so twist those up into whatever pattern your heart desires. Don't get busted by the police trying to procure stuff you aren't supposed to have, okay?
It's all over, lawbreaker.
There is a long list of materials that we're approved by law enforcement to tie with. You got plenty of options. Do not use items from the following list. Human skin, unless it's your own. Don't soak any of your materials in LSD before tying.
They put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
We're not permitted to use feathers from birds of prey, so no owl or eagle or hawk. I feel like a rooster is a bird of prey, but that's just because I've met some real mean ones that tried to prey on me. Is a pelican a bird of prey? They're one of my favorite birds, so I don't want to do them any harm. But I bet they have some sweet feathers.
I bet you would, Panama Red.
Let's see what else is on this cease and desist letter that I was sent. We aren't supposed to use any part of marine mammals, so get rid of any dolphin blubber you might be hanging on to for a special occasion. Weird, but California poppies are also on the list, so do not use the state flower if you live where I live. I'm also reading that it's illegal to use children's teeth, as tempting as that might be. And I don't really get that one because they're going to lose those baby teeth anyway, so why can't we have them to make fake bugs with?
You're going to jail.
This list is getting a little weird the further I read on, actually, because now it's saying that I can't use mammoth hair. That might only be available in a museum, so although it's very tempting, chances are slim that you'll find the real stuff, and even slimmer for you to steal some and get away with it. Did you even read The Feather Thief? Come on, people. Okay, this one makes sense. No tying flies with uranium thread. I actually understand that one. Also, we're not allowed to use heroin. I guess that's just illegal all around, but if you tie flies with it, you're in double trouble.
I'm going to jail!
The FBI is really getting into the weeds the longer I read through this list, because now they say we're not allowed to use pieces of canvas from famous paintings. We can't use strips cut off from the American flag, but we can use other countries' flags, and no bullets either. That one sucks because you can basically just glue a bullet onto a hook and every fish in the river is going to want it. We simply aren't allowed to give fish what they crave, I guess. You know what I crave? Guinness beers. I've never been a big beer guy, but something changed recently and now I love Guinness beers. I've cracked one during every interview for this new season. Charlie from Thursday Night Flies will tell me they are the worst beer, but he's wrong and I'm right on this one.
Round up your mates for a Guinness.
Just like the space station in the pool in Houston. You see, because I'm the host of this show, I get to win every one-sided argument immediately, because whoever I'm arguing with is at my editing mercy, or just won't get invited onto the show. Guinness is creamy, texturally superior, and delicious. And, to top it all off, there's the legend of Guinness using rat meat in the recipe, which makes them even cooler. They might be the only product that I truly want a sponsorship for. Please, I beg of you, if any Guinness-connected listeners hear this, put in a good word. I pour them correctly. I take my first sip of them correctly. Do other beers have protocol like that? No, because Guinness is superior. I'm a Guinness supremacist, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm part Irish, too. It's a match made in heaven, and someday my sponsorship will be secured. Unless they hear all of the ads from my current sponsor, Vital Elements. If they do, they'll know that I'm spoken for. Please excuse this brief interruption from one of our many sponsors.
Don't you hate it when you're playing baseball and you're the pitcher and you pitch a nice hot fastball at the ugly batter and he hits the orb really hard and he's such a great batter that he's able to perfectly aim it and he aims it right at you because he hates you and it hits your penis so hard that your penis falls off forever? I hate it because that happens to me every day and it's annoying. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that anymore thanks to the new Vital Elements Groin Dip Kit. This bucket-style kit comes with everything you need to make your own high-performance bespoke sports cup. Simply open the bucket, pour in both components of the epoxy, stir until they're perfectly combined, and then dip your wet little rod into the resultant slime. Hold it in there for 8 seconds, and then pull it out and use the included mini fan to dry your sticky wicket. In no time at all, the Vital Elements Groin Dip Kit will leave you extremely protected. The epoxy dries into a nearly indestructible and completely unremovable penile sheath. Tough guy batters can smash home runs into your well-protected penis all day long and you won't feel a thing. The coating is that hard and that permanent. When you're ready to remove the perfectly fitted sports cup from your penis and testicles, simply remove your penis and testicles from your body and you're all set. But really, there's no need to ever remove it. It looks cool and it protects your 11th finger from baseball-related harm, as well as from stinging bugs. I got into a fight with a murder hornet's nest in my barn 2 weeks ago, and my entire body was riddled with painful bites, with the exception of my penis, thanks to the Vital Elements Groin Dip Kit. One of the hornets managed to get inside of me and sting up my colon. Now there's something I don't want to have to feel again, but until the scientists at Vital Elements complete their work on their colon protection kit, I'll just have to protect my waistport in other ways. Anyway, get you and your loved ones a Vital Elements groin dip kit today and stop worrying about baseballs knocking your penis off.
Do I have to apologize for the slightly racist story about the Irish kid that I let drown back in season 1? That wasn't real, okay? And I don't apologize anymore. I already told you that I'm part Irish, so I get a pass. I can make fun of Irish people and the very greasy Italians all I want with impunity.
Hey, how yous all doing, huh? I said it once, I'll say it again.
Hey, how yous all doing? Not like this, like that.
Hey, how yous all doing, huh? Squabats.
So thanks in advance to the fine folks at Guinness Beer for considering me and my little show. I suppose this is a good time for me to do my usual thanks to the listeners that supported the show this week. You may not believe that all these people have donated to the show, but I would never lie to you, for any reason. I make the digital art and you listeners are kind enough to pay me for it. I only got $8.49 this time around, but every drop in the bucket counts. So even though they were cheap as hell, I will still give a big shout out to Melissa Constable, Arthur Ketchup, Linda Pantone, Heather Squint, Croak Levi Jones, Serial Harrington, and Lexus Afterburner. This program would not be possible without your generous donations. Do you want to get a shout out in a future episode? Go to secretsocietyofFlyTires.com and choose the route that works best for you. Or put a Ziploc bag full of change in a manila envelope and snail mail it to me. DM me if you don't already have my home address. I'll even take coupons. Please help me before it's too late. What can I say about my two guests today that I haven't already said? I love Charlie and Jim. They were both very supportive early on in the life of this podcast and definitely inspired me to keep it going. If you haven't checked out their previous appearances, Charlie and his wife Roxy were on episode 18, where we talked about their guide service, Axiomatic Fly Fishing, and their local water, the Sandy River. Jim Sens has been on twice before. First on episode 9, where the subject was his local river, the Mackenzie, and then he came back to talk tubes with me on episode 23. Jim now holds the crown for most appearances on the show, the only guest that I've had on 3 times. It means a lot to me that these two dudes have trusted me and agreed to come back onto the show after all the lewd remarks that I've made over the years. Charlie took me out fishing on the Mackenzie River a while back, and it was honestly one of the best days of fishing that I've ever had. We listened to Slayer and slayed fish all day, and he got my littlest brother hooked into his first fish on a fly rod too. He's a great guide, a great spaycaster, and rides the line between kicking my ass and being supportive and encouraging perfectly. I need both, okay? I'm a special boy. I also fished with him on the Rogue and got some great tips to help me tighten up my double spay and snap T. He doesn't know it, but he's also an influencer. Due to his advice, I changed up my running line and I've been using Rio's metered line, which has been great. And he convinced me to order some Nick wax to treat my old wading jacket too. He will not convince me that Guinness isn't the best beer though. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Jim has been an endless inspiration to me as a tyer from pretty much the moment I got into it, even though we hadn't met at that point. His talent and pace and explanation while tying just works for my brain. I've watched most of his available tying videos multiple times and picked up tons of tips and tricks. His version of the Greenbutt Silver Hilton is one of my favorite patterns. His video on the hobo spay helped me tighten up another one of my favorite patterns, and you can tell he loves what he does, which is just inspiring in itself. He also welcomed me into his beautiful blueberry farm home on the Mackenzie after the first time we talked. He's persistently sweet, and I don't think there's a mean bone in his body. I really feel like the two of them reflect my two main attitudes. I get opinionated and sometimes perceived as offensive, and I like to think that I'm nice and sweet. Sometimes too nice even, to the point that I get walked all over. That's the line that I tend to ride, and it helps me appreciate and see eye to eye with both of them. I am not as good of an angler or tyer as either of them though. Let's just get that one straight.
Tell us something we didn't already know.
A couple additional fun facts about my pals. They are both drift boat pilots. You should hire them and have a swell day on the water. Jim is also a body piercer, so if you want to pay someone to poke more holes in you, he's your guy. And while I've been taking so long to write these new episodes and get them ready to release, Charlie has opened up an Etsy store where he's selling handmade leather fly reel covers. Maybe you should go get one. Link in the show notes as usual. Together, Jim and Charlie create a unique vibe and an environment that just makes you want to join them. And I hope that you do start joining them on their Thursday night fly tying show, if you don't already attend. Even more, I hope you participate. Your skill level doesn't matter at all. Participation is all that matters. There's no prize. Some amazing fly tyers participate often, and beginners do too. Everyone is encouraged. I tried to participate every episode of their most recent season, and even if my flies didn't turn out as good as other patterns people posted, it was still fun to twist my brain a little bit and try something new. Unless you tie commercially, I think all of us tyers get into ruts of some type, tying the same patterns or at least the same type of patterns. I always go back to steelhead stuff and love bright winter colors. Thursday Night Flies has made me try new materials, new patterns, got me to freestyle things more, and do weird things like make articulated woolly bugger intruder mashups. It's really cool to see all the submissions and get that feeling of, shit, I should have tried that. It's not a contest, it's just a creative space. I probably mentioned them in almost every interview in Season 4. A handful of my guests this season have also been guests on Thursday Night Flies. I like to think our shows exist in the same universe or whatever. Less of the super serious, pretentious fly fishing attitude and more jokes. Less judgment and more fun. I guess I'm going to stop right there and get to the interview now. I hope that you enjoy the second three-way interview of the season with my pals Charlie Allen and Jim Sens. Here comes Charlie.
I smashed my thumb with like a clawed framing hammer and turned the tip of my thumb into a hamburger.
Oh no.
So tying has been extra fun.
Yeah, is it on your right hand? Or you're left-handed, huh?
I'm left-handed, but it's on my right hand, so it's like I'm holding materials, trying to like get them where they need to be.
Charlie, can you hear us?
Am I there?
No.
We can hear you.
I'm trying to figure out my life here. Is that me? Am I here?
You're on.
We can hear you. You just need to turn on your video.
We can't see you.
The bottom left.
I'm working on it, man.
Just push the button.
Blur. What is video filters? Hey,
don't play with those. Why are you haven't even figured out the video yet?
I think that's it. Am I here now?
No.
You're in, but yeah, do you see us? You can see us.
I can see you guys. I just don't fucking know what the fuck is going on here.
Oh, this is a fucking nightmare already.
No, that's gonna be good. Don't worry about it. I can fucking see myself.
Well, of course you can. Or you have a little cover over your camera? Any of those things? You can maybe select a different camera.
Wait, am I here now? Your microphone is unmuted. Am I here now?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Hang on a sec. Oh, start video.
There we are.
Fucking A.
Hey, man.
That's awesome. I fucking hate Zoom. Okay. No, I don't. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I said I hate Zoom.
Well, you think they're sponsors or something?
Okay, hello.
It's one of the few hard costs I have for my podcast, actually, is paying for a Zoom that lets me talk to people for more than 45 minutes.
Yeah, I like it.
It's the only way I can do it, really. So
Zoom has a time limit?
If you're free, yeah, they cut you at 40 minutes.
That's fucking lame.
Yeah, and so I pay I think it's $15 a month or something like that while I'm recording interviews, and then I cut that off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
yeah, something you guys don't have to worry about.
No, not on this. Yeah, we're not a podcast though. So
I barely am myself. Hey, but before we get into this, I wanted to share something that my son walked by and peeked at my phone while I was watching an episode of Thursday Night Flies recently, and he said, "Oh, it's Bad Word Guy," referring to you, Charlie.
Oh man,
you have. I don't know if that nickname will stick, but you know.
I actually it's been kind of an interesting week because I've had two, well, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I've had two people. I actually had someone get a hold of me, like find my phone number, call me and tell me that I like badmouthed his employee and that I owe his employee an apology. And I was like, can you tell me what I did? Because I was like, I don't know what you're like. I was just like, you're just telling me like I was an asshole and I don't know what we're talking about here. And then he kind of just told me like I had bad language, and I was like, I don't even know enough people watch this to eventually hear that I had something bad to say. But I was like, but that's just my crass, sensibility. I just am like, just like I'm just spewing shit.
It just comes
It's
out.
like fucking meaningless. I was like, I mean, all I do is talk shit, but I fucking truly like probably don't actually feel that way.
I love that we haven't even gotten popular yet, and people are already bitching about the way we do stuff.
And you know, you say you just talk shit, you know, but at the same time, somehow you're a sneaky influencer because I just bought some Nick Wax.
Oh, really?
after your video, I was like, you know what? It reminded me that I have an old Gore-Tex jacket that's starting to not be waterproof anymore. It's time to redo it. So you convinced me with your rant.
Oh, that's incredible. That wasn't a rant. That was actually a tip. I was trying to give people tips because are you on Facebook? I don't know if you are or not. And if you
No,
are, I don't
I'm
know
not.
if you're in the upper left spay fanatics thing, but
No.
in this Facebook group, anyways, like a spay page, someone was like, "What jacket should I get? My jacket's going to shit." And I was just like, just fucking retreat your jacket. You don't have to go buy a new jacket. And all these people were chiming in, going like, "I would get the Grundon's jacket. Go with the Sims." And I was like, "You fucking losers! You don't go out and spend like fucking $400 every 4 months because your jacket starts to wet out. Like you have to retreat it." And so, anyways, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make a video." Which anytime I do one of those things and I am ranty, I am like kind of targeting people because like I'm hoping that they see it and they feel dumb. But
tag them in it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't take it personally. I just got some of that stuff because it was a good reminder.
That's good. I wish that they heard this. Hopefully someone from Nick Wax listens to your podcast.
Just selling product left and right. I couldn't be the only one.
Just wait till this Friday. I have one lined up already. I'm gonna sell more products.
Well, we kind of started without even saying anything, and people already know because I'm sure I've talked about it a whole bunch. We got Jim Sens and Charlie Allen here today. I've been looking forward to this one, dudes. I mean, I look forward to all my interviews, but I'm usually kind of nervous in meeting someone for the first time, and we already got that out of the way.
Out on my back porch.
Yeah, yeah. You guys are a couple of my favorite dudes, and somehow found your way to each other and are now creating one of my favorite little shows. Did I play some kind of small part in you guys starting to hang out when we stopped at your house that day? Had you guys hung out before?
I think we had just started hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah, like actually met each other. Like Instagram forever.
Yeah.
Like I've followed Jim like a lot of other people have forever, but and then I was like, Jim lives close. Like we're both in Oregon. And
I saw him at the Greenwood boat ramp just up the street from my house one day. I was driving by and I like swung back through and I was like, "Hey, I'm Jim. You're Charlie. Now we get to meet each other." And he's like, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" And I was like, "I can't. I'm going fishing with another buddy right now. Otherwise, I would."
Yeah, you did. You said you're like, "I can't miss that trailer or something" because like the color of the trailer and
yeah.
But yeah, there was like a few meetings I had. It's really bizarre because I was like a fanboy of fucking Jim's like for fucking, and so I had always kind of had this idea that Jim was. I was like, how do you reach somebody? Like, how do you reach out to somebody like Jim and just be like, "Hey, dude, we should hang out." And then I even asked, like, I remember asking,
how do you make friends?
And then I just ran up on him randomly at a boat ramp.
Yeah, well then, but I did ask. I asked Brian Stinson, and Brian Stinson was, tried to make it sound like he was like, "Well, I can arrange that." Like he had some fucking power to make it happen.
Make Jim do what he wants.
And and there was like, and a few people like all kind of did the same thing. I had this feeling. I was like, oh, like, so you gotta like get a hold of his people. But anyway,
and now
so I think when you came fishing with me, Matt, and then it was like, hey, let's go stop by Jim's house. That was my first time stopping at Jim's house.
Okay,
for sure. That kind of was the introduction to it. Enough that I felt comfortable enough. I think what actually really occurred is I was running a trip. And my fucking vehicle went to shit town, like at the perfect spot. Like my Land Rover like died. And as it was creeping to a stop, I was able to pull into a boat ramp or launch Deerhorn. And then I called Jim and just said, "Hey, I'm like up in your neighborhood. Can you like swing by, and I can't remember exactly what the context was, but it was something. Well, Jim and Ann basically stopped by, and they're like, "Hey, do you guys want to come to our house?" To my guess, because I was dealing with a broke down vehicle now with clients in my vehicle.
Yeah.
And Jim and Ann took him back to their house and
Oh,
like
wow.
hosted and entertained him while I was getting a flatbed
We like
arranged
made
and
him
like
drinks and made him food. Hang out at our house.
Yeah,
And you
wow.
come
But
to our house.
then that
It's
was
like
basically
amazing.
I was like,
Yeah, it
fucking
is.
A. Okay, so
It really
these people are like they came to my rescue, they're heroes, and I'm gonna be friends with them. So
Yeah,
I bailed you out a couple of other times too with like just like shuttle shit.
I know. I figured we get into that, but there's been like many times actually so far that Jim has like played shuttle driver and fucking like host, more felt shit.
Yeah.
So
Well, I had just interviewed Jim for like the first time, I think not long before that. And so, and we had a good time chatting. So I was excited to meet him, and I knew when I knew we were going to be close, I was like, let's go to Jim's. And so you needed my confidence, man, to get over there.
yeah, exactly. I did. Yeah, it was a good time to get there. So
the blueberry farm is awesome.
It is amazing. Yeah. 100%.
So that was
wish I lived down the street from you.
Me too. And we go fishing a lot more often.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, I'm drinking a Guinness beer right now. Why do you hate Guinness beer?
Charlie, where's your milk?
Because first of all, it's disgusting, but it's right here.
I've got my normal San Pellegrino in the blood orange.
The milk isn't a gimmick. You're drinking it all the time.
Oh, you guys like obsessed.
You guys have I'm gonna let you know a surprise. Everyone's gonna hear it, but for our final show, it's gonna be tomorrow for season 1. We're calling it seasons now because we're gonna keep doing it. You call them seasons too, don't you? Yeah, it's a season.
Yeah,
what the fuck ever. Season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1 come to a wrap, but I'm gonna bring out like a wine glass and keep filling it.
Oh, good. Classy move. Well,
so
since you segued into it for us, let's pretend real quick that there's a few people that listen to my show that haven't heard of your show.
Okay.
And explain how the show, how you guys hatched the idea and like what it is and everything.
Jim, you want me to go, Jim, or what?
I'll start and then you can finish. How's that sound?
Okay.
So Charlie hit me up one day and I think he was like, hey, do you want to sit down and just like tie some flies and FaceTime and BS? I was like, sure, we can do that, no problem. And then some random reason I was like, why don't we just do it on Instagram Live? We'll just sit there and tie, and if people join in, cool, but we can just talk and do our thing. And then we did that for what, like the first 2 weeks? It was just me and you kind of doing our thing, and then we had one person come on randomly.
Yeah. So that was basically it. It was just
very early on. Jim was sick. Jim was sick.
It was literally just like, well, why don't we just, I don't know, go live. And I was like, yeah, let's go live with it. Sure. Like whoever wants to sit and watch that thing. And then I think what occurred is before that went, how it was going to go is that we were going to sit and just like tie flies and kind of like, mostly I was going to be like, hey, Jim, how do you tie this? And have him coach me through, but a challenge or whatever, but I knew I was going to be asking questions. I then had this idea. I think I called Jim up and I was like, hey, what do you think if, like, we tie the flies and then go and discuss like our process? Because I don't think people want to sit and like watch us tie flies, because we'll just be, our heads will be down, it'll be kind of quiet and be pretty dull. And so that was like right away, there was kind of a format, but it was fucking pretty loose. We had no intention of like having it become Thursday Night Flies where people were actually like, this is cool, we want to participate. And but yeah, two episodes, and then Jim invited Paul Watts into one of them, and then that was where we were like, that was pretty neat having somebody like kind of there, because Jim also typically is tying flies, and so he's also busy, and so it gave me just a chance to just sit there and talk, and then I'm trying to remember how all this went down. There was definitely, we were like, hey, we should invite somebody else on, or in that very same thing, I was like, does anybody else want to go on? Let me know.
That's what it was.
And I had, and some people were like, yeah, I'd like to come on. And so we had Northwest Chrome.
Oh, I like him. I forget his first.
Yeah, I don't know. We even went fishing with him, and I'm like brain farting on his name. I'm so sorry, dude. We had Damon Doyle on, Doily, and that was, and then I was like, I should try to find some guests. And so it was just kind of like, who do I want to see? Who do I want to like talk to? And I went, into Instagram, and anybody who I could get a hold of who actually responded back to my Instagram messages started just putting down like a list and asking them dates. And then that was actually kind of like the when things like shifted, because people were like, oh, I'm excited to see this person tie, or you guys should have such and such on. And it became even more participation. And then I suspect even like their followers who are interested in seeing them, they come to watch, and so on and so on. But
Last week we had a dude's mom on. That was really cool.
yeah,
She was super nice.
yeah, Mitch's
Yeah,
mom.
his mom was in the chat, and that was super cool.
And so what, yeah, like I'm just trying to kind of get into my brain here. This occurred when people started, I think we were always kind of going like, hey, feel free to participate. And then when people started participating, it just kind of started snowballing into more and more and more participation. And like, not everyone wants me to share. Like, I don't know about Jim, but I get like private messages where people are like, hey, here's my fly. But it's just for you. Like, I just want to show you that like I am trying.
That's cool.
I've had people do that. I'm like, you should post that and tag us.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I always do, so I don't have to post it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly
not that I'm not stoked on their fly. I just think that they should post it and be stoked about it and like put themselves out there. We've had people like join in on it that have only been tying like a couple weeks and stuff like that too, which is really cool. Like they're just like brand new to fly tying, and they're just like stoked on this whole thing that we're doing.
Yeah,
that's been super fun.
That's super cool. I guess I get it though. Like if you're not confident with it yet, you don't want to share it with everybody. I guess I get it. I don't know.
But that is what it has morphed into, this thing where like it was meant to be a challenge between Jim and I. We started getting participation, and then as we start now I have this idea of like guests that we can have on who I think like can teach something. I'm going like where like I'm hoping me as well. Somebody, this, like you run a podcast, so trying to like keep it going. Sometimes guests like don't want to talk. They don't talk well.
Yeah,
they're like they have short answers, and so to try to keep them engaged, I've been trying to learn how to be better at like keeping people interested and like trying to find ways to find something that maybe they do want to talk about.
It's pretty easy to leave instead of like when you're listening to a podcast and you're kind of invested already. Like you can just flip to the next thing on Instagram pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep people there, but that's why I'm also going like if we get if I start asking the kinds of questions where people are learning something from watching Thursday Night Flies, then they're gonna want to stick around for it. It's gonna be like, oh, there's somebody there. They're asking the right kinds of questions. It's always fun. It always like leads on, and it doesn't have to stay specific. Like if that's why just kind of being like aloof and we just let it go wherever it's going to go and not try to stay on topic is good.
Super hard rules with the theme. Like you can deviate from it and still be cool.
Yeah. I think that's what's difficult about people running podcasts, period. If you're running anything specific, first of all, like I just don't know how much you can actually talk about the thing over and over, like on a weekly basis, and like keep it interesting, but also even for an hour.
Yeah, I get to record mine and cut things out.
So. Yeah, like make it fun and like that's I have had this like kind of grand vision. I'm like, man, if we could do this in a way where we pre-recorded it and like I just went to crazy edit town and I had like this awesome intro.
Careful, buddy.
A monologue or whatever.
Careful
I know
what you wish for. Yeah.
We're not going down that road. That's the Instagram Live is definitely the platform we're going to stick to, just because it offers the engagement like immediately, right?
Yeah.
So that people like going like the audience gets to ask questions, and their questions also keep it going. So which makes it way easy because I'm not left alone.
Yeah.
Jim's not left alone in it, right? Like as long as we're going like, hey, blah, such and such asks, how do you get the sparkly bedazzled look on your feathers or whatever? And then they get talking about their process.
Yeah.
I didn't have I didn't do shit.
Yeah, even if it's just like somebody barking in the comments the whole time,
which is
Yeah,
always
I think,
fun.
I think people really like that too. Yeah, because it's just exactly. I just get to sit there and fucking say shit. Yeah.
Or my wife Ann like pokes the bear with Charlie and gets him like going on, like side rail and all fired up.
Yeah, that's a great element of the show. Believe me.
I think people
truly
really
is.
like it.
It is. Yeah, well, I mean, I love it, and you know, I don't know if you got super specific there, but there is a theme every week, and people send them in, and or they don't, or they participate, or they don't, and you vote, you let people vote on them to a certain extent, you know, like you kind of poll the viewers and stuff, and it's
how
cool.
how it works is so like the very first episode of the season has to just because there's no audience without the first episode. So like as an example, season 2, we have VK Steelworks is going to be our first guest.
So
and
excited.
I don't know if you know who this is.
Very like over the top kind of fancy.
Yeah, they're not even
like different kind of stuff, right? If I'm thinking of the same guy.
Yeah,
they're not even fishing flies,
yeah,
right?
wild looking hooks, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had asked him, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, it usually takes me like, a week to tie a fly. Like I get, yeah. He's like, I come to like my bench for like 2 hours a night over the course of like a week, and
Whoa.
And I was like, perfect. I said, so you can be our first guest, October, like the last weekend of October, the last Thursday in October, and we'll just call it the Halloween theme. And I was like, so you have from now until October to get going. And so I was like, that makes sense because we're going to start late October, just exactly how we did last year. I think we just started late October, November. Something was technically our first one. Jim couldn't make it. You were like a fill-in.
Yeah, we're very early.
Yeah.
Which I'm very appreciative of.
No,
yeah. And it was just also because like I was so early on, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do without Jim? Like no one's coming to watch me. I guarantee it. Like that was
this might be TMI, but that was like my colonoscopy week. So I was like that day was not I just went through an experience that so I needed to just not be on video. Sucks getting old sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we're gonna get going. And then basically in that episode, it will be.
I may have to get him on my show. I got a lot
You
of questions.
There is. Yeah, you should. I've got. I don't want to like have it turn into this thing like where we're trying to turn it into something, because then I feel like it becomes like the church that gets away from me, like what people loved about it in the beginning, it starts to become like kind of too rigid and formatted, and
I get you.
And so like, but there are definitely some changes. Like I've been thinking about it all season long, going like, oh man, like we should change this. I'm like, oh, we're just going to stick with it in season 2 to try to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to try to like really get people to like you're put on the spot when I'm like, hey, what do you guys want us to tie next week? And then I'm pretty certain people are just going like they're looking around like their house at the walls or some shit. And they're like, I don't know. How about a painting of the Pope, or whatever. And you're like, yeah, I get it. It's fucking tough to be put on the spot. And when we're asking you what we should tie, what the theme should be. So hopefully people come in with like a list and some ideas ready. And there's that. And then I'm also just going to do my own. And that way, because I think about shit all the time. I'm always driving around going like, I should write that down. And then I don't, and I fucking forget because I'm fucking also getting old. And if I don't write it down, like I don't remember things. So that will help with the theme. And then, people then vote on it. We do that and does a random number generator. We put in 4. We end up with 4 options for a vote, and whatever wins that vote gets going. So I like it's been exciting this year, but I'm hoping we really get into some like fucking fun shit next year. That's like truly kind of, for me anyways, I want things that are out of my wheelhouse because I fucking stick to just like one thing. I tie steelhead flies.
I feel the same way, man. I was going to ask you because we were talking about people sending you photos of stuff they didn't want to post. It's like, how many flies do you guys tie before you feel comfortable posting your homework? Is it always the first one, or are you like throwing a couple of them away, or what?
Usually for me, it's three.
Three of them, yeah.
Yeah, the third one's usually because it takes me like a little bit to like figure out the spacing for the head, or you know what I mean. There's just always some bugs that I need to work out in the first couple flies, and then the third one's usually good. What about you, Charlie?
Probably the same thing. And I mean, I usually post all the versions of them, and I'll just be like, "Hey, version 1," and I know it's going to be version 1. Even when I've tied it, I'm like, not happy with it. I'm going to tie another one. But then that's that lets people know the process too, and hopefully they can go like, "Yeah, I can do the same thing." Like, it's okay to like not be satisfied with the shit you're putting out. We have a week to do it, 6 days or whatever, So it's if you got time to do it, type a few until you feel like you're happy with what you've done. But that's also part of the charm, I feel, of the thing, is because you get to go like, hey, that is part of my process. And the whole idea, again, like to get back into the roots of the thing, the initial thing that Jim and I talked about was going live, and it was just going to be he and I initially. And I was just going to sit there and be like, okay, Jim, so like, what scene of the movie that we went with did you choose to tie? And then he'd be like, I was in the chocolate room with the Oompa Loompas, and and it could be like anything there. And then be like, so when you chose that, did you immediately go to the materials, or did you go to the platform you were going to use? Like, what then was your process? And just really try to like dive into that and compare our two processes and how we approach a theme challenge. And just because I was just curious about how people's brains work, like in that regard, like when you are creating something, especially and to a theme challenge or whatever, like where's it gonna go? Like is it colors? Are you going with sound? Are you musically going like, I really liked the soundtrack, and so like I was just got vibing to that, and it had nothing to do with like anything. So your fly looks like nothing. It just is like I was just tying to that fucking sound, and that is the thing. It doesn't matter because there are no fucking rules. You don't have to. Jim could come, or our guests or our viewers or anybody could come and be like, hey, look at this, and be like, it doesn't look like fucking anything. But it doesn't have to, because it was your interpretation of it. So, but yeah, we're curious about hearing about that process. So, and then also going like, are we going to create some new flies? Like, is somebody going to stumble upon something? Because I oftentimes say no new flies are really created, even though that's not entirely accurate. I kind of go like, you don't, like, you put one material in front of the other, or you make it shorter or smaller. And there are new materials coming out all the time, like synthetic materials that you can like decide to use. And then you start calling it like Sens fucking Sculpa Nader or whatever. You're gonna I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not bashing you, Jim, by the way.
No, not at all.
I'm like,
smiling.
but I'm like, is it?
That, but I'm smiling.
Has it not been done? I'm like, that.
Fly.
Hang on a second. That has been fucking done before. We're just, they just have some other materials in it now.
I can't imagine coming up with something completely original. Like, I'm speaking for myself. Like, and I often go like to tie something without like any plan, and try and come up with something. Like, not like I'm trying to come up with a new innovative thing, but just see what happens. And it's never something. It's if it is any good, it's something that's already been done, and it's usually not very good. I mean, I tie a lot of bad flies. Like how how many flies do you guys think you tie that don't even get fished? Like
a lot.
I only fish. Yeah, I got like 3 go-tos.
Yeah, I know as soon as I'm done, like that I won't fish it.
I have.
Real quick on this topic though, before we move off of it, like coming up with new ideas and stuff. The coolest thing that I saw was like the not fingernail polish, but the little things on the hackles. Charlie, you know what I'm talking about. Who did that? I can't remember.
Was it Patty?
Patty. Yeah, like that stuff blew my mind, and I even tied a fly doing that, and had my wife do the fingernail polish part.
Mica powder.
Mica powder. That stuff was so cool.
Yeah. That blew
And
my mind.
I don't know how much it brings extra to like catching a fish type of fly, but to catch a fisherman, like eye catching,
yeah,
they're
totally.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've made it a goal myself, even though I know I'm going to end up probably moving away from the majority of the flies. But I was like, I'm going to try to fish all of them and catch. I fucking caught one on my pumpkin pie fly, and I lost one on the Willy Wonka fly.
Oh yeah.
And then we had a Dadrimus. He caught one on his pumpkin pie fly.
Yeah,
we've had guests or viewers like send in like, hey dude, I caught a steelhead on this fly.
Hell yeah.
And so two pumpkin pie flies have caught steelhead. And then Andrew with Dead Drift Society podcast, we had him as a guest on. And he's also sent two different fish that he caught this year that were both on the same fly that he tied with us for his theme week, which was Lady Amherst, and I don't fucking know, can't remember, but one way or another, I was like, it's cool that they're working as well.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
I've tried to make it a goal of mine to make sure that I'm tying flies that like I would also want to use, because there is this way we could go with it where you could just be like, I'm gonna fucking tie like a legitimate theme fly, and it would never fucking fish, but it would look awesome.
Yeah, it's cool too.
I tied one for a fly shop up in Canada is doing like these fly tying contests. I did one for Valentine's Day that like is not a fucking fishable fly, because I like UV cured like the hooks in the shape of a heart.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to fucking town on it, because like I'm just trying to like do something creative here. And so yeah, people could definitely go that route. And that's why like we're gonna have VK Skillworks. I was like, yeah, those are totally unfishable flies. I'm curious just to see.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this person fishes, or if they are just one of these people who are creatively tying flies.
Yeah, I wonder.
Or what. I almost get a feeling that might be the case, because creeping on their Instagram, I haven't seen any fishiness.
Oh yeah.
So
Jim, are you tying a graboid there?
I am.
Yeah. It's a cool like nightmare one.
Yeah, just black and red.
Good.
Something fun to do. I thought it'd be nice to just tie something while we're doing our thing.
But you answered one of the next questions I had too already. I was going to ask you things that you guys have learned from your guests, and that one that from Patty is a great one.
Such a cool idea. And all of our live videos are on our pages too. Like you can, everybody, no matter how far out, you'll be able to still go back and watch those. Some of them have had like almost 2,000 views on them. Not just saying that's a lot or like we're a big deal. I'm just saying like people actually watch this stuff, and that's really cool.
For long form videos on Instagram, that's
right.
Yeah. I mean, if they make it all the way through, I think the viewer count may go up, and without completion of the video, but not the point. I mean, we went from like getting like 8 people who would stick around in the beginning to being at like 20 25s towards the end here. And so I'm like, well, we've more than doubled like the viewers who stick around. So that's
cool.
Awesome by me. I mean, if we're only reaching 25 people, that's fantastic. And if we get to 33 regular viewers, like that stick around through the whole thing,
that's right,
through our lives, like I'm like, then that's awesome. And to answer that though, we've had people by way of the suggestions of the themes, especially when they've been materials. Jim and I felt really surprised that Jim was like, I've never fucking used Nyatt before.
Oh yeah,
I
had never heard of that when you guys brought it. I had to Google it.
Yeah, we had to like go out and buy it. Each had to go buy it, and I went and bought a bunch of it. I actually haven't used it in anything since, but I still intend to. I'm like, it's there somewhere, like waiting for the right project, right theme to come up or whatever. And then when I have some success with it too, like I get out and fish it, and like I start going like, wow, the fish really like the movement of this material, and it's obviously going to change things up probably. So, but there's been.
Was that hard to get up there? I didn't even try to get.
No, I don't think it's not. It's hard to get at all the other fly shops that try it, except for Caddis. However, like they just don't have it.
chunk of a wall dedicated to this stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like it's hard to get. I think it's accessible on, even online or whatever. You can get it through the fly shops that way. It's not like an illegal, hard to get thing or whatever. So not rare, not weird. So, but it's been that there has been, I'm sure Jim he gets to learn too. It's like, we're all going to keep learning. That's what's awesome about this.
Yeah.
I especially have had a chance to learn a lot, and I've been trying through the thing to keep on adding elements of things that I've learned from guests or viewer submissions or whatever into my flies. And even with Jim like coaching me through a classic fly that was our fucking hook pan theme or whatever, I wanted to tie like on a classic spay fly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like FaceTime Jim, and Jim walked me through it. I've learned so much tying one of those flies about precisely where your thread has to fucking begin and how many thread wraps there has to be and where your thread wrap actually begins to tie in the material. Like those flies in particular, I think when they're tied traditionally or the right way anyway, they're insane.
Yeah.
But
I love that stuff. Been geeking out on it a bunch.
And if you ever call Jim and have him walk you through one, if you really want to like kind of feel dumb and also learn a lot, you're like, wow, I didn't know. Like I thought I could tie one. It turns out you're like, I haven't been tying them right.
Jim walks me through on YouTube all the time, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's not like I know everything, but I really appreciate the kind words.
But if you do that and you like add that to any of your fly tying period, I started going like, oh wow, like I am making a by far more sparse fly because I'm counting wraps of my materials, or just like taking those things that are irrelevant to like an intruder kind of, but they really do still make for a better fly period if you start exploring like those techniques in different tying.
Yeah,
so
that's a good tip too. Like when you're learning a new pattern or watching somebody tie it in person or on YouTube or whatever, like I've started paying more attention to the little details about where things start and end more, like where the proportions start and end more, and all that kind of stuff, and it helps a whole bunch, you know. Also, just finally splurged and bought some Alec Jackson steelhead hooks, a while ago, and it's like those make your flies look way better. They make you look way good. Yeah.
Yep. Did you get the gold or anything, or did you just go with like the classic bronze or whatever?
I just got black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I happen to like it. I like tying on all of them, and I always hear things from, well, I'm pretty positive Jim and Jason Osborne were like, no, we don't use that crap. Just like tie on the black. You guys tie on black, right? Is that what it is?
Always.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, because I like doing it. But hey,
so that's the nice thing.
What's been the theme that has gotten the most submissions from people so far? What's been like the most? Oh, easy, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Undeniably the most successful week we had. Period. That is something I have chatted with Roxy about. Like I've been like, how? So that really got people fucking excited. And I was like, for one reason or another, like they lived through the 80s, they wish they resonated with some part of the 80s, and it got people like going. They liked the colors, they liked Prince, they liked Guns N' Roses. There was something, I guess there was just a lot going on. And it was funny because right away, like I had like my sister, I have a very dear friend of mine, Malia, who like messaged me on Instagram. They're like, the 80s sucked. Like, and I was like, no, it didn't. But I fucking loved 80s films and VHS and video games. And like, there was a whole bunch of the 80s that I was a young kid, but I like what I remember of it was a good time. So the 80s, but anyways,
nothing's lived up to that one yet, though, as far as like content submission.
No, so that was my wife and I. Was like, what the fuck was it about that? They got people so jazzed, and how can we do more themes like that. You know, it's just like, what else is it that's really going to get people like jacked on the idea? And I think it's actually a hard one. I was like, I think the 80s was just a thing. And I was like, we could definitely go through like decades, like the 90s. But I was like, it's kind of been done now. So I don't know how excited people would be. In the 90s, it wasn't the same thing. And the 70s is a little maybe too early on for a lot of our viewers. And so yeah, I was just like, I don't know. But and then like there are definitely things where you could be like skiing or snowboarding. That's gonna be a theme. And you get people going like, fuck skiing. Like that's here's an example.
Dude, I'm not a superhero guy, so I did the ambiguously gay duo from SNL. You know, like, I don't know. You find your way around
Yeah.
it, man. Whatever.
Yeah, you can. And I used to do these events, these ski and snowboard events, and I would bartend at them. And in order for me to make great tips, I went to Goodwill and like I got an old ski boot and I took a snowboard boot and I put tips on each of them and like one on each side in front of me where I was
Okay.
serving
Yeah.
beer, right?
Yeah.
And because there was a ski and snowboard event called Snowvana in Portland, you have skiers and snowboards there, and I would have people competing.
Snowvana?
I would have people competing about like which is better by way of their tips. So now I was making great tips, but people are also like, I want snowboarding to fucking like dominate.
You really
Fuck skiing.
You really
So-
got him. Yeah.
So it's just maybe we could do those kinds of things. I think like where we try to like maybe where the poll itself, what people are voting on, are these contrasting things, and where the vote alone means so much to them that they really fucking also want to participate because of it. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's just I think what it's got to be. Or like maybe I just need to bash something so fucking hard that people want to prove me wrong. So I don't know. I'll do that. I'll just talk like the most mad shit on Marabou or something, like the most common tying material there is.
You or make everybody tie Euro nymph flies, like that's the one thing everybody gets all ruffled up about.
Yeah.
Charlie wouldn't even know what to do with himself.
Dude, I wouldn't. I would just put the hook in the vise and fucking not do it.
So what's been your least favorite theme so far?
I'm looking at my wall of them right now.
Just your opinion, not of people's submissions. You know,
There's been a few that like when the polls are done and whatever one, I've been like, oh god, how do I come up with a theme for that's going to be fun? Like the stripper fly was a really hard one. That was one of our early ones.
That was an early one.
That one, yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, that one was real hard. I was having a real hard time with that. And then I pulled something together that I ended up at the end of it. I've always become like really stoked on whatever I've done. So that's been nice. I'd say the stripper one was probably my like biggest clincher in the beginning.
I knew exactly what I was going to do for that one, so I was really excited about it. Actually, fuck, man, okay. Well, I'll tell you this: it didn't initially hurt my feelings. Like it wasn't pissed off about it when I knew we were going to tie it. But the Grinch, as I was trying to tie the Grinch fly, I was fucking pissed because I kept tying Christmas trees basically, and I was just like, how the fuck can I not make it a Christmas tree? And this is the great thing again, right? Like when you start picking apart people's brains and you go, how did you get where you got? I always get in my head, like picking apart like a character, for example, and going like, okay, so they're wearing white shoes and they're wearing brown pantyhose. And then there's like a red dress and there's a blue bow tie, but they have red hair and they have green eyes or whatever it is, right? And they go, so like, how the fuck from like one end of my fly to the other, like building a person dressed, am I going to do this? And so I'm like, what color intruder wire is going to be the pantyhose? And like the dress is red, and then, but when you try to do all that, it's too much. So that's why I usually tie like mini versions, because I'll always start literal and then go like, I have to pick it apart and like find the things that actually are kind of like the key components, like what actually represents that best. and I'm sure everyone has like their own version of it where they do the same thing. They're just like, fuck, man. Like I do it and I end up with like 40 materials. It's just this big bulked out blob and it doesn't look good. It's not going to fish well. It's going to suck. But so that's a long answer to the fucking Grinch.
Yeah.
Made me feel grinchy as fuck.
This is why during our live shows, I sit and tie and just talk every once in a while, kind of like this. And then Charlie does like 85 to 90% of the talking because he's better at that part.
He's got opinions.
He's got lots of opinions. My wife loves dragging out ones that he doesn't want to express.
I'm really working on being like in general in my life, I'm trying to not be like this downer human because I like my wife gets the fucking brunt of me every fucking day naturally, right? And she will be like, dude, I am fucking worn out by you. And I'm like, I don't want to wear you out, like I don't want you to be like, fuck. Every day you get to like come home and you get to talk about like how people drive. Or
she's like, can you start smoking weed or something?
Exactly. I was like, I got to do something. But in general, actually, I've already discussed this. I'm not even afraid to say, but me getting back into therapy, which is like one of the best parts of my adult life, when I finally was convinced that I couldn't do it on my own anymore, or when I could, I was like, my plans to make myself better don't work. And so I was like, fucking, I'm going to therapy.
Yeah.
And then in therapy, I was able to like unload these things on somebody who is not attached to me. You know what I mean? Like
you're paying them to exhaust them.
I get to go and fucking do it, and I get to walk away, and then I get to like walk out there and just go, okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You feel good though afterwards.
Yeah, and like I've never forever, like I was just like, therapy is so fucking dumb.
Man,
therapy is awesome.
And then when I got into it, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, so me being away from it forever, I've been like, oh man, it's like it's stacking up again. And Roxy is not my therapist, but she's there, and like, I'm just like, so that's
I walk out of that stuff and I feel bad for like a long time. Like it's hard for me to get out of that mode after spilling that, like I can't, it's not like a weight off my shoulders. It's like I'm stuck in the muck with it for a little while,
Well, I'm not telling you how you feel.
Place to be too. It's good to kind of like reflect on the things that you just like let out verbally.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is something that initially I think you do feel that way, and therapy over time becomes easier. And that's the point. That's the process. And that's why when you get into it, stepping away from it, you kind of have to go back through that grid again, which is also a big reason why I'm like, God dang it. If I go like get back into it, I'm starting over again. And especially because like I'm starting over with a new therapist. And one of the things also is you have to find the right person. So like it's a process of being like, no, like this isn't the right fit, and having to keep trying new people, because I think that's a big one. Actually, that's like one of the big things that like doesn't get discussed about therapy is you're like, oh, I fucking hated therapy. Like it didn't work well. And I'm like, then try somebody else.
Yeah.
And keep trying somebody else. You're going to go through like 12 therapists until one day you're like fucking mind blown.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that felt good. I'm going to keep going. So, but yeah, it did. It felt fucking like fucking shit for a good bit. And then like the fucking breakthrough occurred and I was feeling good. And there was a moment in my life, there was like a 2-year period in my life where like there are people around me who still now are always going like, you fucking have to go back.
Oh man. While we've been sitting here talking, I'm realizing that this episode won't come out probably until your next season starts. You're starting in October, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So perfect, good timing. Who do you have in store for season 2?
What do you have on the list already?
You mentioned
that's a good question. I should actually go. We have time here still, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna refill my milk. I'm gonna go get the list. I'm gonna come back, and you and Jim just carry on for a bit.
Alrighty.
Okay. All right.
I'll fill in the blanks while you're gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim, are you just tying up a bunch of a collection of graboids tonight
Well, our
someone?
theme this week is Monsters Inc.
Oh yeah,
Graboid.
yeah.
So I'm doing that now, and I was kind of waiting to see if anybody noticed while I was doing it.
Yeah.
Jonathan Farmer is such an innovative fly tire that it's pretty awesome to see the stuff that comes out of his head, and all of it catches fish really well.
Man, yeah, I've been tying my way through Chasing Chrome, you know.
Such a good book.
And
I'm so proud of him for that.
Learning all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's so rad. Yeah. And it's rad to see tons of other folks doing that same thing too. They're like just posting, they're getting the book and they're posting photos.
Posting flies and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Rad, man.
I love all of it.
Yeah. And I tie a lot of graboids. fish a lot of graboids.
I'd really like to get on some fly tires like Sun Tao, which is like mainly a trout fisherman, but he does steelhead in the Great Lakes. I'd love to get him on our show.
He's been on my list too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to him on Instagram a few times, and he's a super nice guy.
Oh, cool.
Super nice.
Wasn't he on the Meat Eater podcast? Did you see him on that?
I think I've listened to a couple of his interviews. Honestly, I can't remember where they were anymore.
Yeah. I think he was.
And then there's another person, his thing, I don't know his first name or anything, but it's Ties Flies on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the She Ties Flies, I think it is. It's the one that does the AMSR thing.
Dude, I just stumbled on that. I'm like, do I need to have this lady on my show? Like, this is something totally different.
Yeah, right? I feel like I want to hear their story because I think it's a husband and wife that does that.
Oh yeah.
At least that's the impression I've got from like her Instagram. But
yeah, I follow now. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I'd really like to pick their brain. I'd love to have Jerry French on because he's one of the OGs of like modern fly tying.
Hell yeah. It'd be cool to see somebody like that participate in the theme night too, and come up with something.
Jay Nicholas, which was like a old school tire for caddis. He tied like flies for videos on their YouTube for years and then just kind of disappeared off the planet. I'd love to get him on if he's still around. I know his health wasn't that good a number of years ago. And he doesn't do social media or anything, so I highly doubt I could get him on. But those are some people that I'd really like to have on. Is there anybody that you'd like to have on your show that hasn't made that, like you haven't just taken the time yet?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of no thanks also. You know, I get declines.
Totally.
I get declines often, you know what I mean? So there's some folks, you know, the way I do my show, I try to like I have a ton of questions here for you guys. I don't even ask somebody to do an interview until I have my questions, you know, laid out and prepared because I if they go, "Yeah, can we do it tonight?" then I want to be ready like because I don't want to lose that. Like if I can rope them in, like I want to be ready whenever, right? And so I put a lot of effort in to do that. And so there's definitely some guests that I'm like I really want to talk to, but I want to make sure that I have like my shit together for them first, you know, like
all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, like in my first season, I went hard and like right out the gate, and I went for Jonathan and for April Vokey and I believe you were on my first season as well. I went for all these heavy hitters, right? Like right out the gate. I had like no pretense, right? And now that I've done it for a couple of years and like have like know what I want to do, it's a little bit different approaching people. I mean, I had one person that was like I reached out to interview that was like super offended by the show, you know, and like had to tell me all about it, right? And like and I was like a fan, like I wanted to have him on the show, like
they didn't have the same view that you had of your work that you've been putting in.
No, they thought it was horrible. So, you know, I was gonna ask you guys if you've had anybody say no thanks to coming on the show, like decline.
I haven't asked anybody yet. I don't think. Maybe I have. Charlie, have you had anybody say no thanks yet?
You don't have to say who, you know.
I guess it's a good way for me to come back in. So I'm going to start. Let me start somewhere. Not answering your question. I'll get to answering it.
Right. Go ahead.
I just literally made a list because all of this has been through like Instagram messages where I'm like, hey, would you be interested in coming on Thursday Night Flies and kind of give them the spiel, which is ultimately why I ended up writing that thing that I just wrote recently about what Thursday Night Flies is about. Because everyone's like, well, what is it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I better come up with like, I got to try to come up with something to explain it.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show too, because that was very well put.
Yeah, it took me I don't know, fucking an hour and a half to like write that short blip. I just kept revising it.
Yeah.
But so the answer for one is I went to try to find that list. My son has done something with it undeniably. It's fucking. I have to probably recreate it and get back into
down your toilet.
It's somewhere.
Got peanut butter all
But
over it somewhere.
I do know loosely where we're at here, and I can say that. So we've already discussed VK Steelworks. We have Stronger Than the River, Cynthia Davis. She doesn't actually tie flies, but she fishes. And then I asked her, and she's like, "I don't tie flies." And I said, "Well, you paint. How about
That's
the thieving
cool.
challenge? How about you paint a fly instead?" And then I was like, "That'll be interesting." Like, good. Don't tie.
That's super cool. Yeah.
And so we got that. We have Tony with Revel fly fishing.
Yep.
Coming on.
I like that dude a lot. He's one of my good people.
Hellfire. I wish I could like remember everybody. I have like two people who have been consistently participating. I asked them, I said, "Hey, you're already interested in this and you tie, awesome flies. We'd like to have you on." And so they've said yes. I wish I could remember precisely. Now this is me getting into the point where I say, has anybody outright said no?
Yeah.
And I haven't had anybody outright be like, no. But I have seen that there have been a lot of people who I can see that they've seen my message.
Sure.
And they just don't respond.
That's the same thing, man. Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so that's rejection, I guess, because like that is just you not even going like, well, what is it about before it's just like,
dude, hitting people up to ask them that stuff on Instagram when you don't follow each other is such a crapshoot, because it goes in their requests and you don't know if they ever see it, and then if they do and they read it and you don't get a response, you're just like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird way. I have been trying to take this approach where I see if they provide an email, because
I look for that.
Some Instagrams, I'm like, if I can send you an email, then at least it seems like I'm trying.
Dude, I love
it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace where you're like, you use like the auto generated, like, hey, is it still available? And people are like, fuck that. You're too lazy to even try it. So
yeah, I love a contact me form on like their guide website. Like they're paying attention to those. Like I feel like, and they're gonna get it. So I don't know.
I also have reached out to some of the like bigger Instagrams that like United Women on the Fly, for example. I was like, hey, do you know anybody who'd be interested in like joining us? Because I don't want to reach out to like individual women like some creep. But I was
hard,
like,
dude, it's hard.
I was like, I think it'd be interesting to have some more women on. I was like,
yeah,
that was also a thing that we chatted about, Roxanne. And she's like, you had like one woman on. I said,
dude, I
don't know how to fucking reach out to him without being like, hey, do you want to join Jim and I in a threesome?
Well, that made it real weird.
I mean, I don't say that, but I'm like, what do they think we're doing? Like, without any. I've even provided some examples of episodes where like I'll send in a message. I'll be like, hey,
yeah,
you can watch these or you don't have to watch them. And like, here's the flies. Go check out these 2 or 3 handles. And if you go see their, go look at the Instagram, you can get a feel for what we're about.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, fucking A, there we go.
Dude,
I'm just not interested. So
I make an effort to get gals on the show, and I've been lucky. I've had April Vokey and Britta Fordyce and Amanda Chapman, who you guys had on too. And I make an effort, and I get ignored. I get ignored all the time, and I feel like such a creep hitting them up, like, "Hey, you want to Zoom with me?"
I couldn't imagine being a woman on Instagram and being mildly popular or even like extremely popular. Yeah. I feel like I would want to just delete it all and not be there. So I get it.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are definitely, I feel like, the most unapproachable too, right? I always look at like their viewer counts and I'm like, oh, you've got like fucking 44,000 followers.
Yeah.
So like, I'm going, you're probably.
I don't have anything to offer you.
I'm like, you're like a celebrity in the fishing world at that rate, So what the fuck? That is literally me going like, hey, who are your people? How do I contact them?
Dude,
like,
but then you get like, I didn't have any show out at all, and April Vokey was down and zoomed for me from fucking Australia or whatever she was at.
You had like a really long interview with her too.
Yeah, like I was a total noob, and she didn't know. I was nobody at all. I'm still nobody, but I didn't have any show online at all. at that point.
What's also great about her is she runs a podcast, so she can like self-coach herself through, like when I'm sure she was like, if there's any fumblings at all. I'd never listened to that one actually. I'm sorry, but
It's really good for one of his first ones. It was a really good one.
but having people on who are aware, I think, and can kind of push along and keep your podcast from having any kind of dead space.
It's tough. There's some interviews that take more effort than others, but yeah, that definitely helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have her on. Actually, that would be. She ties flies. People would like love to see it. I'm sure, and I guess it's worth a shot. You just reached out to her on Instagram. She replied.
No, I emailed her.
Oh,
yeah, she
okay.
has an email.
Yeah, Jim and me were starting to talk about guests while you were filling your milk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to start talking about who people I haven't contacted yet that like I haven't felt ready to interview yet. Like I totally want to interview Davey McPhail. Like,
oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like I really want to, but like I fucking have to have my shit together to interview him. I really want to interview Jay Johnson from GeoBass and
totally.
Shit, dude, gone all over the place. Super cool dude. It's another one I feel like I have to have my shit together for that one. I want to be on my game. I have a bunch of my new season 4 is coming together really well. I got Jason from Portland Fly Shop on it. We did an interview which is awesome.
Love that guy.
God, yeah, he's such a master, dude. Like total fanboying over him too, because like he has all these videos I've been nerding out on. I was just like, this one's so cool. This one's so cool, And he does such innovative stuff like on his channel. So it was a fun chat. And Ken, that you guys have on for your season finale, came on for an episode talking about Steelhead, and
I'm really excited about him next.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow actually.
Yeah.
Really excited for that one.
He's rad. Who else do I have on? I'll tell you right now. Let's see. I'm talking to John Hazlett. Next week. Yeah, that was another one I was kind of intimidated to reach out to for some reason, but he was super cool. Let's see. Talking to Derek Rivchin this weekend with Low Water Guide Service. You guys familiar with him?
No.
But I will be after listening, I guess.
Yeah, I talked to my buddy Pelagos Fly Rods, a fly rod builder out in Hawaii. If you guys haven't checked out his stuff, man, he puts together some amazing stuff. Like, it's rad. And then a couple buddies of mine, Matt and Grant, we did an episode on GAR, which is why I have this background on still.
Oh yeah,
cool. And then I have a few in the works that have like floating out there that haven't confirmed dates yet, and a couple other ones that I'm still trying to get. But I try to do 12, so I'm trying to put all those together.
12 that's a nice number. Actually,
yeah,
that's a lot of work. I'm sure, especially for you, because you're sitting there like putting these things together and like actually not only doing the interviews, but you got all this post work to do.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
that's quite a bit of work that you do. 12 episodes is actually a handful.
Thankfully, my buddy the Worm puts together all my commercials, so I don't have to worry about those.
Oh,
I was waiting to bring up your commercials. They're like my favorite thing. Your promotions are like, I don't understand why you're not like at tens of thousands of followers just because of your promotions.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Jim. Yeah,
they're always so. Even if I don't understand them, at least they're entertaining.
Dude, yeah, this season too. By the time I think this is probably going to be somewhere in the middle of the season, people will know by now that like all of the ads are from the same sponsor for this season, and we have one master sponsor that does many products. It's called Vital Elements, and they pay for all the ads this year. So I hope you guys are enjoying the fake commercials. You guys haven't heard them yet, but I'll send you a couple that we haven't shared yet.
Yeah, Matt, I'm going to tell you something. When I first heard season 1, and your whole like intro thing that is kind of just wild. It's probably the thing that people are like, fuck you, I don't want to have anything to do with your podcast, actually.
Yeah.
But they're either that or they're like, fuck yeah, I want to be on this guy's podcast.
Well, for me, that was exactly, I was on season 2, I think, right? Did you have, but I reached out to you and I was like, hey, will you have me on? Because I wanted to talk to you. I was like, I wish that seems like a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody out there listening, if you want to be on Matt's podcast, hit them up on Instagram.
They say,
Yeah,
hey, can I come
it's
on the
two
show?
ways. It works two ways, guys. You can reach out too. You got something interesting you want to talk about? Go on his podcast. Reach out. Matt, what's your? I'm going to plug you.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to do.
Hey, before we move off of the Thursday Night Flies stuff, can we do a special theme like SSFT Thursday Night Flies for this episode, and then we can just like I'll time it like when it comes out, and I'll be like, hey guys, this is the theme that we were doing. I'll remind you in like a couple months when this comes out.
I already know what we can do then. Why don't we just call it like a UFO theme?
All right.
Yeah, it's got to be aliens.
Okay, it'll be an alien theme.
Or we can even broaden it and call it sci-fi if you want.
Okay.
But we can keep it narrow and do aliens. I think broadening it to like a sci-fi, like 70s sci-fi or even 50s sci-fi would be super cool.
I love it. Let's do it.
The Secret Society of Fly Tires Sci-Fi Week. Yep.
Yeah. That's when this episode comes out, that's what the theme will be.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah. So you are gonna have to let us know, and then that's just gonna be one of those ones where we just decide what the week is gonna be.
Yeah, I have to. I hope I remember. I'm actually bolding it. I usually delete all the questions as I get through these interviews. I'm gonna leave that one there and bold it so I don't forget. Hey, so I have something new I'm going to try here. I have some rapid fire questions, and for both you guys, and none of these questions really have a correct answer. I'm just looking for your opinions, so myself and my listeners can judge you. So I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6, and I would like answers from both of you. Okay.
On it.
Do you believe in giants like giant humans ever walked the earth?
Yes.
I'll go with yes, because I've definitely seen evidence of such things. I don't understand why it hasn't been talked about more. So it makes me kind of feel like it's like a Sasquatch type thing, which if that's another one of your questions, okay.
It is. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Okay, I do also believe in giants. Okay, very much. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yes.
Bigfoot? No.
No, yes. I think I do, but not like a monkey or a missing link, something weirder.
It's crazy because you live in Sasquatch country, Jim. Like he's all over the place.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I hear elk and cougars way more often than I do Sasquatch where I live.
You think that's what it is?
I'll tell you right now, I'm already surprised at Charlie's answers. All right. Do you believe in aliens from outer space?
We can't be the only life forms in this universe.
You guys both do. I don't know if I do anymore. I'm not saying there's no aliens. I don't know if they're from outer space.
I don't think we're cool enough for them to come visit us, but I think, or their technology. There's that whole, what is that theory where like as a civilization evolves, they pretty much destroy themselves. I forget. It's like a whole theory. As you hit like different levels, there's like levels to this whole thing. And eventually you get to a point that no one's gotten past. And that's why we don't see other civilizations, because we all end up destroying ourselves eventually.
We go.
The actual answer to that is we live in a cluster of stars and planets that is so unbelievably large that we can't even explore beyond it. And the universe, the multiverse that exists well beyond this is so unbelievably gigantic that just our planet that exists in this gigantic cluster of stars is so insignificant. Like it's a great argument for I'm not going to get into it actually, but there are undeniably fucking many other species of whatever that exists out there.
All that rant that you just went on made me think of how amazing it is when I get to look outside on a new moon and I can see the Milky Way galaxy up in the sky. It's like so humbling to just like see that thing that like all of human history has been able to see until we invented the light bulb.
There's a book called The Powers of 10, and you should go check it out from the library or buy it on Amazon or whatever. Get your hands on it, and then just have your mind blown by that. And I mean, the premise is that it basically starts out like on a microscopic level, and we're zoomed into this thing that you can't necessarily make out, and it's like the cell in a hand, and as it powers out, you start going like, oh, that's a hand, and that hand's on a blanket, and that blanket's in a park, and that park is in a state and a country and on this planet, and then it basically makes us shift outwards, and the powers start to go well beyond like our reaches into the infinite, right? But in that book, just having like wrapping your head around, like you're like, holy fuck, when you get into like that microscopic level, and there are like little living little things that exist there, you go, so we could be the aliens to them, like this.
This is like, is this like, it's kind of called like the shadow theory, right? Isn't it something like that, where it's like
Yeah.
is that what, did you already say that?
Yeah, and like I mean, like literally, if you think like, do ants sit there and communicate about like us giants,
Right,
us Sasquatches, like fucking? Look, did you see that fucking Sasquatch?
Right.
You know, like
yeah,
this could fully fucking exist, and it does exist.
I like that a lot. But at the same time, there's the I forget who said it, but the odds of there being like creatures like bipedal, like we're really rare, like the way that we're set up, and like anything existing out there would be just as rare, and most likely doesn't exist. Also, you know, the way we anthropomorphize the idea of aliens or whatever, you know.
We're the only species on this planet that has to wipe our butt after we leave the restroom.
That's a good point, Jim.
Well, we think we don't know that. So
no, we do know that.
And that's not necessarily true. Like the Japanese just drip dry.
Back to rapid fire.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got three more. Rapid fire. Do you believe we landed on the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, but hard yes from both. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay, I don't know. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
No.
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 No? Oh. I do.
Good.
All right. Do you believe in supernatural abilities like telepathy, ESP, remote viewing, etc.?
Yes.
Definitely. There's things that can be unlocked in your brain that we don't even understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the only trick question, because the correct is the right answer. Yes, because it's being proven now, and the CIA has been researching it forever and applying it. And
It's pretty. I mean, have you ever sat in a room with someone and like it's just the collective consciousness? Even we're like,
yeah,
you don't have to be saying anything, but you're in the same realm. Your head, your brains are doing the same thing. Is that telepathy? No, I mean, I call it the collective consciousness. It can be called whatever it is, but it operates in that same realm. Where like, yeah, that's pretty clear. Like the communication that exists without it having to exist. Or if you get into like any organic matter, if you're into mushrooms and you go like,
yeah, and you do mushrooms with a couple people, you kind of
you
know.
do
Right?
you do mushrooms, and then you understand the mushroom network that exists and the way that the whole fucking world is connected and communicates by way of these things.
I really think that more people should do hallucinogens, because you're never the same afterwards. It opens things up that just need to be opened.
Yeah. Somebody said that every U.S. president should be forced to do that before they're president. And
it's like part of their inauguration.
Kind of agree.
Yeah. During their fucking presidency, they should be doing it. Like it should be happening right now. Like kind of, and like have this moment where you're like, holy fuck, there's so. Have you ever done mushrooms and just closed your fucking eyes for like 3 hours?
Totally.
I spent a whole trip with my face buried in my couch.
That's the best way to do mushrooms.
I spent the whole trip in a shower.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. This feels too good.
Even once it got cold, it didn't matter, because that water coming out of the shower looked so cool for like 5 hours.
Oh man. Well, my rapid fire questions didn't work the way I thought they would.
Yeah, those were like the slowest rapid fire questions in history.
They're still good.
That's because it's easy to veer off and start talking about the questions. Sorry, if we'd have just stuck to the fucking program.
I kind of thought for some reason you were going to say no to all of them, Charlie. I thought you were just like, nope.
Here we go.
But
Domino's Pizza.
Okay.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Costco pizza though.
Okay, whole milk or chocolate milk?
Lactose-free milk.
Chocolate milk.
Dumb.
Let's end it there, boys.
Okay.
That's a good way to end it. Thank you for being on the show again, dudes. 2 return guests, riding again.
We need to fish again this year. Can we make that happen, Matt?
Yeah, that was a question that I didn't get to. When are we going fishing together again?
You're the one that has to come up here.
That's true. When should I come up? Tell me.
June.
In June?
June? What do you think, Charlie?
Early June?
June?
June or October?
No, October's a little too late, I'd say. I would think that if you, well, I don't know. We're all going to be like in the height of our seasons, like probably try to not be busy when you're up here, you know, but
my favorite time of the year is spring for trout fishing because the wild trout on the Mackenzie are huge and there's no hatchery fish around, so it's awesome. But that's not Charlie's game. So
yeah, we'll go. I'll go trout. I took Matt trout fishing. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Like if you made it up in like the end of April through the end of May, that's pretty magical time to be here on the Mackenzie.
I can make May happen. Let's pencil that in, dudes. We'll swing some flies on the Mackenzie for some trouts.
What about steelhead though?
Okay, well,
that's why I was trying to pick days where or months where the steelhead were going to be around.
Late June.
Okay, that'll work. I'm down.
Don't worry, there's still trout. You can catch those things too.
Yeah, but they're all hatchery trout at that time. The rainbow trout all run away and hide.
Well, let's make it happen. I'm going to get up there.
All right. That sounds awesome.
I'd love that.
Right on, boys. Thanks again.
And we have a spare bedroom, so you can just crash at our place if you need to.
Yeah.
I am going to take you up on that. I want to stay on the blueberry farm.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Please say hi to your wives for me. Hope everything is good.
All right, Mark.
Good night, you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, good night. Thank you, man. Cheers. Bye.
It was my pleasure to have two returning guests back at the same time. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Charlie. You didn't have to waste an hour with me on Zoom, but you did, and for that, I am thankful.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful for all of you listening. I joke a lot, and sometimes those jokes are even directed at you people. I don't really mean it, okay? And I subject you all to countless highly offensive commercials, too. I'm thankful that most of you don't take offense, and hopefully get a chuckle or two out of them on your commute or while you're on the job or on the river. Actually, you shouldn't be listening to me while on the river. What if a wild animal is stalking you and you can't hear it because the worm is yelling at you while making another cum joke or trying to convince you to buy some kind of weird suppository?
I'm being attacked!
I don't want that on my conscience, so from here on out, you are not allowed to listen to me while fishing, or while you're driving one of those rentable electric scooters. It's too dangerous, and I don't want any more unnecessary blood on my hands. If you know anyone who is doing either of those things, please report them to me immediately so I can ban them from the show permanently.
You have been banned from the Mickey Mouse Club for inappropriate behavior.
Anyhow, tune into Thursday Night Flies. It's on Instagram on Thursday nights, and I think it starts around 7 p.m. Pacific. They don't use a Thursday Night Flies specific Instagram account either. They just go live together from their individual accounts. So follow Charlie and Jim. You should be all ready, you big dummy. They should have a new season rolling by the time this episode comes out. Shit, it might already be done by the time I finish all this podcast work, but that's okay. Podcasts are forever. This will still do the job of promoting their show. It's your job to show up and hopefully participate in their new challenges. Speaking of, they agreed to let me bridge our two shows together and let me and you listeners have our own little tying challenge. They pick a theme every week, and people who participate tie up their own fly to coincide with that theme. They've done themes like the 80s, using specific materials like SnowRunner. They did a Monsters, Inc. theme. They did a superhero theme, and much more. For us, though, in our little challenge, the theme is aliens. So please, twist up an alien-themed fly and share your fly on Instagram. Make sure to tag the SSFT Instagram and Axiomatic Fly Fishing and Jim Sens. We'll all try to share the submissions. Please participate, okay? For me, you get double points if your alien-themed fly is a leech.
This is a leech.
You know how I feel about leeches.
What are leeches anyway?
The leech.
Is that the first time I've used those sound bites in this new season? I've joked every episode about you sending me money, which would be great, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see a bunch of alien-themed flies just as much as I would love to see some dough land in my digital wallet. Have fun with it. Make something stupid. One of you better tie up a little UFO with an alien throwing up the hang loose sign all made out of your own nose hairs. That would be an instant win. Okay, it's time to wrap this episode up. The show's over. But before I sign off, I will leave you with a little content recommendation, just like I've been doing all season. This time it's not some wild conspiracy documentary, it's a fly tying book that's available online. And it carries on the theme of Guinness beers being the best beers, because this book is also Irish, just like my favorite beer. If you geek out about classic salmon fly patterns, you'll dig it just as much as I do. It's called the 1902 Cork Collection of Salmon Flies, and I'm very thankful that someone put the whole thing on the internet for free for us to browse. The Cork Collection of Flies were tied for the Cork International Exposition of 1902. The Department of Agriculture and Technical Instruction for Ireland had written to fly tyers from the various fishery districts throughout Ireland, requesting patterns from each district for both trout and salmon to illustrate the department's fishery exhibit at the Cork International Exhibition. In August of 2007, the late E.J. Ted Malone, author of Irish Trout and Salmon Flies and Tying Flies in the Irish Style, was made aware of the possible existence of the Cork Collection of Flies. Writing letters was a formidable weapon in Ted's armory, a talent that came naturally to him in his own copperplate style of writing. He had that succinct yet mannerly way of expressing his views and concerns. Ted wrote letters, lots of them, mainly to those in influence to locate the Cork Collection of Flies. Every person that he corresponded with stepped up to the plate and, more importantly, delivered on their promises to leave no stone unturned in the quest to locate the Cork Collection. Finally, in 2009, Ted was informed by letter that the Cork Collection had been found and was safe and secure in the Office of Inland Fisheries Ireland, and was now available to him to view and share with a bunch of drugged out drunk lunatics that listen to this show. Go check them out. Maybe you have already. I don't care. Look again, because it's a beautiful showcase. One of those things that makes you feel proud to be in the fly tying game. Anyhow, that's it, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. See you on the other side.
Oh my god, are you sick and tired of spraying wet, greasy diarrhea all over yourself and your loved ones every single day? Christ knows I am. Luckily for people like us, there's the new Vital Elements Diarrhea Capsule. This wide-gauge, extra-dry, powder-coated suppository can be discreetly inserted deep into your hungry, quivering anus, at home or on the go. You can do it yourself or ask a kind Samaritan to help you with the insertion. Once the Vital Elements Diarrhea Capsule is warmly inside your bowels, the outer coating dissolves to reveal a condom-shaped pouch, which expands to fit the entire width of your colon. Then, instead of spraying hot, sticky diarrhea all over everything like you normally do because you're such a bad boy, the pouch simply catches the diarrhea and holds it within you. When the maximum pressure limit of the pouch is reached, the opening is automatically sealed shut, allowing you to pass the long, wet plastic bag full of diarrhea safely into the trash receptacle of your choosing. With the Vital Elements Diarrhea Capsule, there will be no more splattering the walls of your home with unruly loose stool. Just insert the capsule, let it unfurl, fill her up, and push it out as a solid rather than a liquid. It couldn't be simpler. Even a dumb idiot like you can do it. Please note that this is not a real advertisement, and the company, brand, entity, or product mentioned in the preceding ad in no way endorses, agrees with, or knows about this podcast.